It started like any other swipe right success. I had been on Tinder for a while, matching with a few people here and there, but nothing ever came of it. Then I matched with her. Her name was Amanda. She had that perfect mix of girl next door vibes with just a hint of mystery. Her pictures showed her hiking, hanging out with friends, and laughing at a sunset. She seemed down to earth and chill, exactly what I was looking for. Her bio was simple: adventurous, loves good food, hates small talk. Let's explore. We hit it off almost instantly. The conversation flowed easily, funny, witty, and engaging. She wasn't shy, but she also didn't overshare. After a couple of days of chatting, we decided to meet up. She suggested a place, an old bar at the edge of town I'd never heard of. "It's got character," she said. "Not too many people know about it." That should have been my first red flag. The night of our date, I arrived at the bar. It was one of those places you'd miss if you weren't looking for it. Old, with a faded neon sign flickering above the entrance. The interior was just as rundown. Dim lighting, creaky wooden floors, and a jukebox in the corner playing some old blues track. But there was something off about it. There weren't many people inside, just a few scattered at the bar, none of whom seemed to pay me any attention. I texted Amanda to let her know I was there. A few minutes passed, and I didn't hear back. I started to get that awkward feeling, wondering if I'd been stood up. Just as I was about to leave, the door creaked open, and there she was. Amanda. She looked just like her pictures, if not better. A wave of relief washed over me. Her smile was warm, her eyes bright, but something about her felt different. She didn't seem as bubbly as she had been in our chats. Still, I chalked it up to first date jitters. We all get them, right? We sat down, ordered a couple of drinks, and started talking. At first, it was great. She asked me about my job, my hobbies, and we joked about the weird people we'd both encountered on Tinder. But as the night went on, her mood shifted. It was subtle at first. Her smile didn't quite reach her eyes, and she began to ask odd, uncomfortable questions. "Do you believe in fate?" she asked, her voice low, almost a whisper. I guess," I replied, laughing awkwardly. "I mean, I'm open to the idea." "Why?" She leaned in closer, her eyes locking onto mine. "What if meeting me wasn't an accident? What if it was meant to be?" I smiled, trying to play it cool, but a chill ran down my spine. Her tone was too serious, too intense for a first date. "Maybe it was," I said, hoping to ease the tension. "Or maybe we're just two people who happened to swipe right at the same time." She didn't laugh. Instead, she just stared at me, her expression unreadable. I shifted uncomfortably in my seat, glancing around the bar. The few patrons that were there when I arrived had left, and now it was just us and the bartender, who seemed to be watching us a little too closely. The conversation became more unsettling as the night dragged on. Amanda started asking strange, almost personal questions. "Have you ever thought about what it's like to die?" she asked, her eyes never leaving mine. I laughed it off, trying to change the subject, but she pressed on. "I think about it a lot. What comes after, whether we can really escape it." At that point, my skin was crawling. This was no longer the fun, easygoing date I had expected. I casually glanced at my phone, pretending to check a message. "Hey, it's getting late," I said, forcing a smile. "I've got work early tomorrow, so I should probably get going." She didn't move, didn't blink. "I thought we were having fun," she said softly, her fingers drumming on the table. "We are," I lied, standing up. "We can do this again sometime, though." As I turned to leave, she grabbed my wrist, hard. Her grip was icy cold, and for a moment I froze. Her eyes, once bright and cheerful, were now dark, almost hollow. "You can't leave yet," she said, her voice eerily calm. "We're just getting started." I yanked my arm away, heart pounding. "I really have to go," I stammered, backing away from the table. She stood up slowly, never taking her eyes off me. "You were supposed to be the one," she whispered, her voice low and menacing. "I thought you'd understand." My fight-or-flight instinct kicked in, and I bolted for the door. As I rushed outside, I could hear her laughing softly behind me, a sound that chilled me to the bone. I didn't stop running until I reached my car, my hands shaking as I fumbled with the keys. As I sped away, I glanced in the rearview mirror. There, standing in the middle of the road, was Amanda, watching me drive off. Her face was expressionless, her eyes locked on mine until she faded into the distance. When I got home, I blocked her on Tinder, deleted her number, and tried to shake off the lingering dread that clung to me. I convinced myself that it had just been a weird date, a bad experience with someone who wasn't quite right in the head. But later that night, as I lay in bed, I got a notification. New match. I opened the app, my heart skipping a beat. It was her.